Well, are we any closer to finding out exactly what circumstances led to the unfortunate killing by the police, that ASP of Bolanle Raheem?
Yes, I would say we are closer to finding out what really happened because investigation has commenced, and with each passing day, we are getting closer to having the reports of the investigation. So in a couple of days, I'm sure that the report will be out and everybody would know what's really transpired because we are going to make it public.
Are there any specifics in terms of what you're finding out in the course of your investigation that you can put out there that Nigerians, can be informed of?
Well, for now, I've not laid my hands on the investigation report, so I wouldn't be able to give specifics, but I can confirm that ASP Drambi Vandi was the one who shot, and the other two people with him, the other two officers with him, were not part of that shooting because it caught them unawares too. And for that reason, they are going to be released. Only the person who committed the offense would face the music.
Well, one recurring word, whether it's the President Muhammadu Buhari that's speaking or the CP who visited that family, and every other person, justice is one word that's been coming up. What are the guarantees that Bolanle Raheem will not be just another statistic? I mean, because 3 weeks ago, one Gafaru Braimo was killed in the same axis, the same police station, the Ajiwe police station involved in the matter. What assurances are you giving Nigerians that justice indeed will be done? And how soon?
Well, justice in this case is going to be immediate, so I can say very soon. You can tell because we met with the family the same day this incident happened. We also met with the NBA at the police headquarters. And today, the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, C.P.R.O was also at the family residence to assure them that justice will be served and swiftly too. So in this particular case, we have also promised the public that we are going to update them regularly on what we are doing. So people can rest assured that nothing will be swept under the rug.
Well, it is clear that, I mean, the president himself attested to the fact that reforms had been in place within the police system. Is it a failure of, this reforms within the police that would make an ASP who has spent over 30 years in the police force, has barely 2 years to retire, would find himself in this kind of situation? Are these reforms failing?
Well, we can't call it a failure of reforms because it all depends on what you want to focus on. If you want to focus on the impact of the reforms, you would see that these reforms are actually working in many areas of the force. But unfortunately, one errant officer has misbehaved, and we can't use that one incident to say that the entire reforms have failed. So what we're doing in this case is to do it on an individual basis, on a case-by-case basis. So this officer has misbehaved. Roughly 3 weeks ago, another officer from that division shot somebody dead. He too is in detention. His case is being wrapped up now. So it's on an individual basis. Each police officer who commits an offense would face the music. But that shouldn't be a yardstick to judge the entire reforms.
Well, it's looking more like it's more of the norm in the police than the exception. I mean, weapons handling is one of the reforms that was instituted, in the police system. And it doesn't seem to be making any impact. Now, the president has said, let me quote him, that the strongest possible action will be taken. What exactly is the strongest possible action that the police can put in place to ensure that this does not happen again? What does this police officer face?
Well, for us in the police, we do not determine the fate of ASPs and above. The Police Service Commission does that, but it is in our place to go through the incident, investigate, and submit a report with our recommendation to the Police Service Commission. So we shall be recommending the strongest possible punishment, and that will be passed to the Police Service Commission, and we do hope that they would uphold that recommendation, which ultimately would be a dismissal, and that would pave way for his prosecution.
Well, it is the norm that in other parts of the world, the police ordinarily would have shooting ranges. I mean, where police men, officers or recruits are taught and trained on how to, handle weapons. And I'm sure part of it will be, psychological makeup of the officer as he uses the guns at the shooting ranges. Number one, do you have shooting ranges for the Nigeria police? And if so, what is the state of those shooting ranges?
Well, I can confirm that we have shooting ranges. We have the outdoor ranges and we have the indoor ranges. And they are functional. People go there year in, year out to practice shooting. I can confirm that.
Let us in also into the typical training that would go into weapons handling for, a new recruit. And I want to believe that in the course of the officer's career lifespan, that there would be training every now and again. Give us an insight.
Well, that's why we have what we call training and retraining. So it's not just a one-off thing. For every now and then, you are selected and you are picked and you are directed to go for these trainings. So we shouldn't generalize that because one or two officers have misused their firearms, that means maybe the training was entirely poor. There are many more officers out there who use their firearms properly. So this is just a case of some recalcitrant officers who have refused to imbibe the tenets that they were taught during the training.
And that's why I asked you earlier. Let me reiterate that question. What is the strongest possible action that will be taken against, this police officer and others like him?
And that was why I said earlier too, that the strongest possible action will be dismissal, and that will pave way for his prosecution.
Right. The CP visited with the family very quickly. What reassurances did he give the family? What did he tell them?
Well, he commiserated with them and he assured them that justice will be served. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will be swept under the rug.